So in this video, we're going to create a generator function that is going to return some data, and it's going to do something with that data, and we're going to print whatever the result is. And we're going to be creating a helper that pretty much is going to help us loop through, go to the generator function and extract all the information that we need, and then print all that information. So it will be something small and simple, but this will give you an idea how to actually get how to use generator with your day-to-day coding as a front-end developer. So right now, the first thing we want to do is create our generator function that we're gonna call it get names, and we're gonna be using the Star Wars APS as I've been doing in the past as well. So we can actually get all the characters from Star Wars and print their name. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. So the first thing we're going to do is create our first yield. And this yield, what it's going to do is going to make our AJAX requests or API requests using Axiom. And the second thing we're going to do is actually just return. We're going to return based on what we get from there. I believe it's just data, and then is results. Oops. And then we're just gonna map through all of them and get their name. So in here, what's happening in here is that the yield function pretty much works as a wait. In previous videos, I was talking about a sync and a wait. So when you see the keyword yield, it's pretty much doing the same thing as I've been mentioning before. So what it does first is going to resolve whatever's to the right of this keyword, and it's going to restore it to whatever's on the left of the keyword. In this case, it's going to be this variable called res. So whatever the API return is going to be part of your res variable, and then we can actually do whatever we want. In this case, we pretty much just loop it through all the data that we get back, and then we're going to just take create an array of character's name. So this right now, we could actually just do something like and get characters, and then this will be equals to this get names. So we could easily right now just do next, right, and do this a few times, and then we can actually get the information that we need. But that theory doesn't really optimal because you don't know how many yield these generator functions we have. So what we want to do in this case is create a helper function that pretty much is going to help us to loop through all the yields that is inside of this generator, extract them all up, and then come back with a final return based on this stuff in here. So the first thing we want to do is wrap this into a helper. And obviously, what we do is let's just do this in here for now, so the editor stop complaining about. Just don't do anything for now. Okay, cool. So now we can go ahead and clear our helper. And what this helper is going to do is going to take the generator function that we pass in, just call it gen for now, and do something with it. So the first thing we do is we're going to create an instead of that generator function as we've been doing in the past. So we call this generator. Generator, and this is going to be equal to whatever we're passing, which obviously will be the generator itself. And down in here, we can actually just say return, and that is going to return what the generator next. So that's pretty cool, but that still wouldn't work because this will stop at the first yield, and that wouldn't loop through everything that we actually need to do. So in that case, what we want to do really is create our handler, which is pretty much the only thing this is going to do is handle the generator, the whole yield next method that we're using. So in this case, we're gonna say the result, and in here, the first thing we want to do is that we're going to return the promise. We're going to resolve the promise, And then with that result, we're going to take the value that we're getting, and then we're going to take that and then pass it back to a handler, so that way it can continue to go in a loop, right? So generator, so oops. So doing so what's happening here right now is that this is going to go on an infinite loop, trying to keep passing through the generator function because we haven't told them when to stop. So in order to do that, since the generator function is going to return a flag that is done true or false, we can actually check the flag and tell if that flag is marked as done. Let's just stop this loop and just return whatever we get. So what we do is rest done. If rest done, that means it's true. Just pretty much return the whole promise, then value. All right, so let's see. Right now this looks pretty good, but yep, we need to wrap this into a helper. Handler, right? Because that's the reason why we created. That's what we created, this handler. So recapping, pretty much we have a helper function. We pretty much gonna take our generator, and besides our generator variable, we have a handler. We pretty much the only thing that it does is going to keep going in loop into our generator until it gets the generator done, until we get one of them, which will be the last one, obviously, that's going to say, hey, I'm done, nothing else to do with this generator. So right now, if we do log this, let's just log whatever we get back. So now if we log this, in theory, we should be getting a list of all the characters of Star Wars. And fair enough, we get all this character of Star Wars.